And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your friend Cheap Ludes, live from my now gender-neutral lighted studio. Makes me feel like a real content creator now that I have the bisexual lighting. Maybe I should start using content creator voice and just refer to everyone as guys all the time. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. Who knows what the new year holds for me. Anyways, let's talk about the market in NBA 2K22 My Team, because it is quite interesting. So before we get into the market in general, if you haven't already, we got a new set of, honestly, kind of more chill things to do in relation to the Beyond Level 40. You don't have to go play clutch time with 3 Hawks players, which is good. So you can get step 3 of 4 done. Looks like we're expecting step 4 next Friday. Should be cool, I suppose. Not really sure. I don't know, man. It is what it is. It looks fine. Kemp should be relatively good. I'm assuming that he's going to be pretty fire, being that it's kind of a ridiculous grind. Other than that, we got a new takeover player as well in Gerald Wallace. I will never get any of this done, so I don't really care all that much. As you can hear, my cat is going X Games mode on this Bumblebee toy behind me, but it is what it is. We got some new packs, the fireworks packs. The odds were horrendous, like 2% chance for a pink diamond, 8% chance for a diamond. Granted, that chance to pull Luol Deng is significantly lower, so real rough. Let's take a look at the cards in the actual set. This is all I pulled in about it was about 400k MT. I pulled Stromile Swift and Terrence Ross. That's quite literally it. So you can see I was straight up hashtag blessed out here. So Kevin Porter Jr. is super cheap, and he is without a doubt the best super cheap point guard on the market. He can play the shooting guard just fine too, because he's 6'6", but a lot of people are going to use him at the point guard, and I kind of understand why. Movement wise, he's really solid. His jump shot, people really enjoy it, which I understand. It's the KPJ release on quick, which I think I used it on his gold card once for something. I don't remember what it was. Oh, to test out J.R. Smith's jump shot, because I assumed that he was going to have KPJ release. Good release. Really solid. The only hiccups I could say is he can't get limitless range. He has non-upgradable silver clamps, and pretty bad tendencies, honestly. But as far as for a budget point guard, he is one of the most elite options, especially on the offensive end. The offensive end, he is gas. I mean, he's going to come with like gold clamp breaker, quick first step, I don't really care too much about dribble sigs. I know his dribble sigs aren't the greatest, but he's really solid. You can get him for like 2,000 MT. And for that reason, he deserves to be highlighted. I think this is a card that most people should have regardless of team level, just because he's going to be beneficial for things like limited, challenges, and other things like that. He's just really good. Sochan. I actually like Sochan quite a bit. I started to kind of like his Evo card later on, and this is just an improved version of that. His release on slow isn't as bad as you would think. It's not. If you used his Evo card, it's very easy to green. It is just obviously slow. But, he's got the sick little Dennis Rodman hair, which he doesn't have in-game, I don't think, unless they updated his likeness for sure. He's missing shooting badges, 100%, but he's got good defensive badges, bad defensive tendencies. I think it's worth putting a catch and shoot on him, or you can't even put corner specialist on him, which I find interesting, but his release is good enough. Once again, he's just a really solid budget option. Stromile Swift, I'm excited for Stromile Swift for sure. It was exciting to see the homie, but they did kind of do him dirty. That being said, he's okay. They gave him default swing, so they gave him the Kiki Vanderwee Wally Zerbiak release, which is, I don't know if it's a good release or just a release I'm really comfortable with, but Stromile Swift, probably for majority of people, isn't someone that's going to be recommended to pick up, but he's okay. He's very aggressively okay. I kind of want to pick up a hollow Stromile Swift, so I'm kind of on the prowl for a hollow one at this point. So it's just me. Mo Peterson, very interesting card. A lot of people don't remember the cracked Mo Pete that we got last year. I don't know. He's 6'7". The release is, I don't know. I would say solid. Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard release is okay. I used his current series card for a challenge at some point. It was an okay release. I haven't got a chance to use his New Year's resolution card, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But Mo Peterson is really, really aggressively okay. Like, if you're looking to pick up a shooting guard or a small forward, being he's 6'7", he can play the small forward just fine. For under 8, under 7 now, like Mo Peterson, you could do a lot worse than Mo Pete. Like, for sure, you really could. Once again, dribble sigs aren't going to be great, but I mean, he's going to be more of like a spot-up shooting 3 and D guy anyway. Then we got Terrence Ross. Terrence Ross is about the same price as Mo Pete, possibly even cheaper, to be honest. 6'7", 206, like very, very solid. His release is good, actually. Like, I like it anyway. Trae Young dribble style. He's got okay dribble stigs, like, for sure, they're good. He has Hoff Agent 3, Hoff Amp, and Hoff Guard Up, which are actually pretty tight, and then like Limitless and Posterizer. So on current gen, he's going to be really, really good. The non-upgradable bronze clamps kind of hurt him a little bit, but I personally don't think clamps does a whole lot this year. That's a personal opinion. You could definitely argue that I'm incorrect about that. The reason I say that is because of the prevalence in clamp breaker, especially at the shooting guard and small forward position. I feel like clamps really isn't that important in certain aspects, being there's a badge that directly rivals it, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. I'm looking to pick up a hollow Terrence Ross just for fun. I packed 2 of them. I haven't even sold the other one. I just like don't care realistically. Terrence Ross is very, once again, aggressively okay. Him and Mo Pete are just very serviceable, super budget options. I feel like that's kind of majority of this set. Until we get here, Luol Deng. Okay, now here's the thing, right? Luol Deng is over 100K. Which is crazy to me. It's just crazy to think about the fact that Luol Deng is this expensive, right? The reason that he is this expensive has very little to do with him himself, right? His tendencies aren't elite, but he has like the elite motion style. He has Michael Jordan dribble style. Like, he's just going to be a movement god, like Damian Lillard behind the back, like D-Mitch is a size up, which, I mean, people say sucks, but whatever, I don't really care. I'm not a dribble god, so it doesn't matter. Basically, what you need to understand is comp guys hype this card. The community has hyped this card as being like a top-tier shooting guard, even though, in my opinion, he plays better at the small forward. It is what it is. I think that's just a personal thing, though. It's just me having watched Luol Deng. I'm like, yeah, he's better at the small forward, you know? Either way, very, very good card. Should you pick him up for this price point? No. Majority of people are not going to use this card to its full potential, similar to Tim Thomas, so it's not really worth spending the amount of MT. I feel like Luol Deng is one of those cards that'll be expensive momentarily, kind of like a Kristaps, and then kind of fall down in value pretty soon. The best kind of allegory for Luol Deng is probably Diamond Bowl last year, where like for the first week, he was super expensive, and then people started kind of dropping him. And that's probably what's going to happen with Luol Deng, though he does have endgame sigs. But what I can say is if we're seeing a Luol Deng with these kind of sigs coming out at the diamond level, there's a very high probability that we'll be seeing pink, diamond, and opal cards with the same sigs relatively soon. So people will abandon Luol Deng with the quickness when that does happen. Now, that being said, as of right now, yeah, he's probably up there in the top 3 shooting guard small forwards in the game, like for sure, without a doubt. I mean, you could argue he's the best, it just doesn't really matter. Paolo Banchero is significantly cheaper than Luol Deng. The reason for that is because they hoed him on the defensive end. Like, all his stats are good. He has above 80 in every single stat, right? Except passing vision and shot IQ, which don't really mean a whole lot anyway. The issue with Paolo is the badges he can't get. Like, he can't get clamps, he can't get glove, he can't get anchor, he can't get challenger, and then you look at other things, he can't get Deadeye, Limitless, Agent 3 amped, which, like, whatever, at that point. Like, you're not going to be using Paolo for that, and honestly, his release is really good, but his tendencies are not very good. It's just, they kind of hoed Paolo, which is a good thing to a certain extent, because if they had cracked Paolo out, I think he might be the most unstoppable card in the game, straight up due to his player build. Now, that being said, he's still super good. So if you're willing to live with those things, I mean, you still have an elite level small forward, power forward. I mean, look, think about season 1. Like season 1, Paolo was still an absolute monster without any of that stuff too. It's the jump shot and the player build that are really going to hold it down for Paolo. And he does have like solid badges like catch and shoot, corner specialist, claymore, blinders, guard up, volume, green machine, midi magician on gold. You can give him clutch shooter, you can give him comeback, and give him slippery. So he's not bad. And then he can move too. You know, Michael Jordan dribble style. Steph's behind the back, which isn't crazy, but it's solid enough. He's good. It's just, you know. Then we got D-Rob. D-Rob's D-Rob. Like, you kind of knew what to expect with David Robinson at this point. Like, he's the best center in the game. I don't know what more you want from me. Like, people will critique anybody picking him up just to mash, but, like, he is the mash man, dude. Like, he is pretty much Shaq or Kareem, but he can shoot. That's essentially what you're getting with D-Rob. The rebounding's the same. He's not as dominant on the interior as like Shaq is, or even Kareem to a certain extent, but he is the most well-rounded and most balanced center in this entire game. He can do literally anything. However you play, D-Rob is going to help your team. So for that reason, yeah, he's that expensive. And then Curry. I mean, it's Curry. Like, you know, it's Curry. It's the 8th Curry that we've received this year. We know what's up with Curry at this point. I'm so glad they got rid of the 3-player thing, though. I mean, there's nothing really to say about Opal Staff. Like, Opal Staff is, I mean, yeah, he's cheaper than D-Rob. A shade over Luol Deng. I mean, the Luol Deng was going for like 200K yesterday. I'm just gonna wait on Luol Deng, honestly. I don't really need him like that. Either way, has there been any cards that have taken a direct hit due to these packs? Yes, Michael Jordan. MJ has taken a rather direct hit due. I cannot believe I'm about to say these words, but MJ's price has taken a hit due to Luol Deng. That is just a doozy of a sentence right there, like, for sure. But yeah, no, Luol Deng is better than MJ, and people are putting up MJ for this exact reason. So you can snag Michael Jordan for a lot cheaper than you could have a couple days ago. Same with like LeBron James. LeBron James is down for this exact reason because people are going to run Luol Deng at small forward. Kobe, people like Kobe, so he's still kind of expensive. Durant, Luka, whatever. That's fine. Talking about budget cards, though, like Evan Mobley is still a very, very good budget center, by the way. He is a little skinny, but this man gets defensive stops. I would say the 2 best, and if you want to consider this guy a budget center, I would, because, like, it's a free grind. 2 best budget big men in this game right now are Jaren Jackson and Evan Mobley. I don't think there's really too much to say about that. Like, you could include DeMarcus Cousins here, but that's a crapshoot if you actually got him or not. Like, Jaren Jackson and Evan Mobley are the 2 best budget big men in this game, besides Taco, who's the most unstoppable card, I swear to God. If you're a paint mash god, Taco, you can't stop him. Like, you literally cannot stop him. Shaq can't stop him. D-Rob can't stop him. Literally, Kareem can't stop him. The only person that seems to be able to stop Taco Fall is George Mirasan, consistently. And no one's running George Mirasan, so Taco is still ridiculous as per usual. If you happen to be running George Mirasan, you'll be able to stop a Taco. I'm not even kidding when I say if you're running unlimited, it is not a terrible idea to just have a Taco in one of your 3 bench spots, because if you run into a Taco Fall user, the only thing that can really stop Taco is another Taco. So that's cracked that that's even a thing, but it's real, and you should definitely think about it. Grant Hill has taken a pretty good hit as well due to Luol Deng. A lot of people were running Grant Hill for a little bit. He is down in price. Carmelo Anthony is down a bit in price, but it's been a while since he's been in packs, so he's a bit up again too. It's kind of weird. He fluctuates quite a bit. Lauri Markkanen's down quite a bit, just because we've gotten so many combo forwards, like so many power forwards in general. Like, it's just been crazy. But as far as season 2 cards, I wouldn't recommend picking any of these guys up right now. The reason I say that is just because we were seeing a very clear and very deliberate power creep occurring right now. So picking up any outdated cards from season 2 isn't going to be beneficial in the long term, in my opinion. Even the big men, dude. I mean, we need a budget big, by the way. Like, just to specify, like, the best budget big that we have that you can buy on the market that isn't grossly over expensive is Evan Mobley. Like, that's it. Because I think Kristaps, to a certain extent, although I think Kristaps is good, there are issues here. And then, like, Diamond Giannis is okay as well. Giannis, by the way, took a pretty decent hit, too, which is crazy because he's still so good. Now, let's talk about some MT. I recommend doing this. The Christmas Ornament Prize Ball. Right? Reality, you're not going to make a whole lot of MT here. But every couple of games, you get to open one of these little ornament ball packs. And people are still buying them. So you're not going to make a whole lot of MT. Like, I got the Clippers ball. Let's take a look and see what Clippers is going for. Probably about 1,200 MT if I had to guess. But that's essentially a free 1,200 MT. Looks like this one's going for a bit more, so I can get about 1,400 MT for this one. Right? This allows you to get an extra, you know, anywhere from 1,200 to a couple thousand MT after every single game. Not necessarily. Sometimes they open after 1, sometimes they open after like 3. So it kind of averages out to like 2. I mean, I've had them open up rather quickly. I've had them open up kind of long. I recommend doing that, especially if you're going to be grinding it out. It's worthwhile just running those balls, just because you're making a little bit more MT. I mean, I feel like it's kind of a silly thing to bring up. I feel like most people kind of know that, but still, at the end of the day, it's worth bringing up. I recommend checking out your shoe boost collection too. Like, you never really know. I mean, most people are trying to juice up Luol Deng at the current moment. So looking at what Deng and Robinson need are going to be two very beneficial things. So anything speed related, Luol Deng is probably going to need at some point with an 88 speed, which I don't think is bad, by the way. So, I mean, if you have any speed boosts, it's worth taking a look. You know, speed boost, ball handle is something he's going to need too. Not going for all that much. Interior defense, just anything that's going to help those two guys be a little bit better, people are going to pick up 100%. So it's worth definitely looking at those. Like, I have a few speeds left. You know, I'm not going to get a crazy amount for them, but 8-9K for a badge I'm not using. Speed with ball, you know, you're getting closer to like 10 to 12 with that one, so you might as well sell that. Acceleration's usually expensive as well. So, I mean, if I sold all these, I got about probably close to 30 or 40K. I can sell them all for about 10. I got about 6, so we're roughly running about 50K, which is huge. So definitely check your collection there. Obviously, sell your gold badges. They're better to be sold than to sit in your collection until the end of the year like they typically do for mine. I know people aren't really looking for gold badges at this point, but it's always worth selling them while they still have some value. We're at the turning point now where cards are going to come out and they're going to pretty much consistently have 30 gold badges. So this is kind of the last time you're going to be getting a lot of MT for gold badges. The badges that are going to go for a lot of value here coming up are going to be bronze and silver badges. This is typically the flip that occurs. It usually happens in about February, where bronze and silver badges overtake gold badges as being the most expensive badges. Now, that might be different this year, but it typically does happen around this time, so just kind of something to think about. If you see some important badges that you know, like, certain cards aren't going to have in the future, not a bad idea to invest in them. Clamp Breaker is always a good one. Anchor, most cards are going to have, so I would kind of avoid Anchor, but that's just me. Limitless Range, if you see any of them for what seems like a reasonable price at the bronze or silver limit, like, definitely want to pick those up for sure. Because we're going to get to the point where, you know, centers are going to come out that are going to be gods, but then they're not going to have Limitless. But they're going to be able to have Limitless applied. And that's when those badges are going to explode. So, something to think about. As always, it's been your friend Cheap Ludes. Sorry, my voice has been cracking the whole video, man. I don't know what's going on. I hope you guys have a good new year. And just be safe out there. No drinking and driving, dude. I know it's PSA time. Yeah, high school PSA time. Do not drink and drive. Do not. Just don't do it. If you're drinking, just have a ride home. Just don't drive. Just literally do not drive. It's so easy. Just don't do it. Set it up before you go. If you know you're going to go get sloshed on like Jägermeister and all types of heinous, disgusting liquors, just have a ride planned out for later. And if your dumbass friend says, dude, I'm good to drive, that's a fucking lie. They're lying to you. don't get in the car with them. If you've noticed that they've pounded probably 6 Jaeger bombs in a 2-hour span, and then like an hour later they're like, hell yeah, I'm good to drive, let's run it, dude, let's go to Taco Bell, do not get in the car with them. They're dumb. PSA over. Anyways, be safe, you guys. If anyone wants to support the channel, it is kind of been a rough month. You know, you can go to the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Anyways, I will see you guys next year, dude. Peace. That's such a lame joke. I'm so sorry. I'll see you guys tomorrow.